Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Today's video is going to be a bit different. It's not a tutorial, however it's going to be another fun video that I can promise you, and basically we're just going to be having a chit chat. So today's video is sort of like a Q&A. I asked you lot to ask questions and you guys did, so I'm going to be trying as much as possible to answer those questions rather, and I'm going to be trying to answer to the best of my ability and also based on my experience. I'm sure the way someone else will answer will be different. However, like I said, I'm going to be personalizing your questions and also telling you based on my experience how I think and the advice that I think that you should take from it. So guys, yes, without further ado, we're going to get into that. However, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Ayotola, the creative director of Adunni and the content creator of this YouTube channel. And this channel was basically created just for you, to teach you loads of fun craft things that you can do from the comfort of your homes. I focus mainly on sewing tutorials. However, from time to time you'll come across some chit chat videos like this that I hope you actually find useful. Thank you so much, guys. If you're not subscribed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here. Don't forget to also turn on the notification bell, and you also want to make sure that you personalize it, or you change it from personalized to all, right? So that you can get notifications every single time that I post a video. Thank you guys so much. So without further ado, let's get into your questions. All right, guys, so as you can see, I've got my notepad here, my customized So Unique notepad, and I've also got my other phone here. So in case you see me looking down from time to time, it's because I'm trying to fetch your questions and answer your questions properly. So guys, forgive me. So we're gonna start with the first question, and the first question, I feel like I should start in the order that was that the questions were posted. All right, guys, so we're just going to dive into this, and the first question I have is from Telma04, and she says, I voted for lessons your business taught you, but for questions, what is the most reliable method to gather a good customer base? And for me, I'll say that at the end of the day, there's no reliable, I can't say there's a most reliable method because I haven't carried out a search or a study. However, I can say that what works for me. So what I would advise is that you try out different things and then you determine what works for you and you stick to that. So for me, I find that I give my customers a remarkable customer experience most of the time, and that works well because when people enjoy the experience that they had with you, when you make them feel great when they come to sew with you, there's every likelihood that they want to come back to you. Okay, so creating a remarkable customer experience is definitely useful because you stand out and people want to come back to you. You also want to make sure that you give value for their money, because that way people want to come back to you. Another thing that has worked well for me would be referrals, word of mouth, and I think it kind of comes back to giving a remarkable customer experience, because obviously I would only refer someone whose service I'm happy with. So yeah, it kind of boils down to that. If I'm happy with your service, I'm going to be referring you, and obviously if that other person is happy with your service, they'll be referring you. So it kind of has a ripple effect. But one other thing that's also worked great for me would be social media. So you want to harness the power of social media. You want to reach out to your target audience. You want to locate your target audience and target niche. And if you don't know what that is, I kind of explained it briefly in one of my videos. So I'm going to put a link in the iCards above as well as in the description bar. So do check out the video where I talked about how to identify your target audience and target niche. And when you have your target audience and target niche, it's easy for you to know who your customers are and follow those kind of people on social media, reach out to those kind of people, put out great content. People would go where there's great content, guys. I'm not even doing the best in my social media department, if I'm being honest. However, I have seen people make so much money from social media. There's a lot of market on social media, so definitely I would if I were to advise, I would say you want to focus on social media, and you also want to focus on word of mouth, getting referrals. So that means you're creating a remarkable customer experience. Again, like I said, in terms of social media is absolutely wide. People get clients off Facebook. Trust me, guys, if you know how to use Facebook is absolutely great. Facebook, people take advantage of Twitter, and people actually make good sales on Twitter. For me, I think most of my sales would be generated off Instagram, and that's because that's where I pay the most attention, if I'm correct. So yes, you want to take advantage of all these platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever works for you, and you want to make sure that you take advantage of that. So Telma, I hope I've answered your questions. I think for me that would be the most reliable base way of creating a customer base. However, I must say that you want to also make sure that you keep a backup backup list for your clients, and you upload it to your Google Drive or your iCloud or whatever it is that you use. And that's important because, for instance, if your Instagram or Facebook or something gets hacked or you get locked out of it, you kind of lose all your clients, and you don't want that. So make sure that when you get your client's number, you get their email address, and you kind of create a database. Say database guys, excuse me, whatever one it is, you create a database and just keep their contact information so that you never lose it. You also want to make sure that you keep in touch with your customers, you send them messages from time to time, and that way you're on your way to building a reliable customer base. I hope that answers your question, Telma, and thank you so much for always commenting and supporting. Thank you guys so much. I know many of you drop comments. I know there's Rita, there's Veronica, there's Telma, there's so many of you, and I'm grateful. I see your comments. Thank you. Okay, so moving on to the next question. The next question I have here is from Rita, and yeah, that's Rita that I was just shouting at too. How to start a clothing line and things to consider before you start. How to start a clothing line and things to consider before you start. I feel like I've answered this question. So if you watched my previous video that I made, the talking one, how to start a fashion business, I definitely answered a lot of the questions that you're a lot of the things that you need to know in that video. So I'm going to put a link in the iCard and in the description, but you definitely want to check that out. And I'll just say, if you want to start a clothing line, the first thing you want to decide is what kind of clothes do you want to make. So do you want to make bespoke clothing? Do you want to make ready to wear? They're two different things. You want to first determine that. After determining the kind of clothes you want to make, you also want to now determine for what age bracket you're making this clothes. So after you determine all of that, then you want to determine the kind of clothes you want, whether they're edgy or they're casual wear or they're everyday wear or they're bridal. Basically, after you've determined all of those things, then you want to work on your production, and then you want to work on your marketing. So how to start a clothing line is absolutely extremely broad. I feel like it's one of those topics that we might need to break into different bits and pieces. So I'm just going to quickly run through. For instance, you've determined that I want to start a ready-to-wear line, right? And you determined that you just want to make things like Ankara shift dresses, so really cute, small, trendy pieces. And you have your production, you've gotten everything. So you've got your sewing machines, you've got your machines for finishing, you have to sort out branding, you have to sort out packaging, you have to sort out logistics, so you have to sort out delivery and all of those things. You definitely have to sort out all those little bits and pieces. You also have to sort out marketing, and that's where it might be hard. So initially, if you're just starting out, it might not be you selling 10 pieces a week. Heck, it might not be you selling 5 pieces a week sometimes, but eventually, guys, I promise you, you will kind of move. So you definitely want to take out your time. You also want to watch my other video, and like I said, I'll see what can be done about starting a series on that and see how we can cover it. But it's a really wide topic, but I'll say the first thing you want to do is just start. You learn from your mistakes. So the first thing to do is just start. Determine what you want to do, the kind of clothes you want to do, make a few samples, do a photo shoot, post on Instagram. Just post. You don't have to have money to make 100 pieces at first, right? So a lot of people do ready to wear in Nigeria, right? And the way they do it now is kind of different. They tell you it takes 3 to 4 days. So they have tailors on standby. If you have money, you could have some fabric on standby, or have a market accessible to you and a relationship with someone in the market. So a customer orders a piece that you posted on Instagram. If it was real ready to wear, all you need to do is go into your store and then just pick one and then send it to your customer. But when you don't have the capital for that, there are other ways around it. So what you could do is just tell the customer, oh, thank you, it will cost this amount, kindly make payment into my bank account or my company bank account. And then you make payment, and of course you start processing the order. Let them know it will take 3-4 days, but that way you will need to be on your toes, because what if you have 20 orders in one day? you know, you would need to burn out because you would have just a couple of days to make those orders, especially if they're from different people. So guys, you need to make sure that you plan. For me personally, I do robes, and my robes are not ready to wear. However, I could portray them as ready to wear because I just tell you it takes 7 to 10 business days for production if you're ordering bulk, and it takes 3 to 5 business days for production if you're ordering one. But anyway, that doesn't even make it ready to wear, to be frank. That just makes it like custom made. But like I said, if you're doing ready to wear, you want to know like your audience, and then you just want to produce a few pieces. So for starters, you don't have that much money, you don't have the capital it takes to do ready to wear. Produce 5 pieces. Produce 5 of each design, right? Produce 5 in like the most common sizes that you get. So size 12s and size 10s are very common. So if you are producing 5, for instance, I would say produce 2 size 10s, 2 size 12s, and maybe 1 size 8. If you're going to do 6 pieces, 1 size 8 and 1 size 14. Those sizes, from my experience, they sell really fast. So I hope that kind of answers your question. Okay guys, so the next question I have here is from Rolly George Abby, and she says, thanks, how do you set up a lasting fashion firm? I don't know, trust me guys, I actually haven't figured that out. I'm still trying, and I think what it is don't give up. I think the little or the short answer I will give to that is don't give up. It's frustrating. It has its ups and downs, but guys, you need to just continue and just persist and just persist. I can't remember what book it was, but there's usually a research that says a lot of businesses don't last the first 5 years, and when they if they last the first 5 years, maybe not the first 10 years, but however, if your business can last 5 years and 10 years, you're doing well. You're actually doing well, guys. It's not easy to set up a business for 5 years. So a lasting firm, what I would say is you want to make sure as much as possible to create a working system. Guys, that is absolutely important. If you say you want to create a lasting firm, you want to have a working system, and a working system in the sense that even when you're not around, things can go on in your company without your physical presence, right? So you need to know that you get to a certain stage where you can't always be hands-on, you can always be around. As much as you want to be hands-on, your job as a creative director is to be the thinker, is to be the one who plans, right? And it's hard when you have to, especially if you're someone like me, you have to do cutting, you have to do the sewing, you have to do packaging, you have to do the delivery. Sometimes you have to do some of those things. You can't do everything. You can't be the pattern maker and the dressmaker and be the customer service representative and also be the quality control officer, guys. I mean, I know that many of us do all of that, but you can't realistically do all of that. So you want to make sure that you create a working system that even when you need to travel on holiday or travel for business or something, work is still going on. There's a system set in place, and your staff and everyone knows this is what I'm supposed to do at this time. So for instance, for me, if we get a robe order, the system that I have in place, and it's not perfect, guys, like I said, I'm still a work in progress, but the system that I have in place is we get the order from the customer, we get order details, and then we put it on the chatbot under the side where we have our new orders. And then what we do is we sort our color, size, the fabric needed, blah blah, and then we get into production. When we get into production, it just takes a day, 2, 3, depending on what we have on ground. We produce. After producing, it goes to quality check, and I do my quality check. And then from quality check, it goes to packaging. From packaging, it goes to labeling. Labeling would include adding the waybill if it's being sent out, or just packing it up if it's being picked up, and then send a message to the customer that your order is now ready for pickup or collection or delivery. And then if it's delivery, just send it out. But the point is, even when I'm not around, my staff know what to do when it comes to that, because I've created a working system. I have my pattern, so all I say is, oh, we have an order, it's a pink robe in a size 8. They know where the patterns are, they pick up a size 8, they know what to do, just cut it up and sew it. Like, I've created a working system. There's a standard, so you want to make sure that you create a working system, a standard, and there's a lot of discipline in your lasting firm. And when I say discipline, I also mean financial financial discipline as well as, you know, moral discipline. So guys, I want you again to please check out my previous video, and I kind of address financial discipline there. But yes, you want to make sure that there's financial discipline in your firm. So if you have financial discipline, you have a system that works, and you know, you'll be fine. But I have to say as well, before you get a system that works, it's not easy peasy. It's a lot of trial and error, you know, trying this and things failing. You know, you keep working on your system, but you want to make sure that the system works and that you're able to step away from your business. The moment you're able to step away from your business, you're well on your way to creating a lasting firm. I hope that answers your question. All right guys, so the next question I have is from Famous T Kodua, and she said, please, I would like advice on how to package my ready-to-wear outfits attractively without spending too much. And guys, the answer for that is just branding. So basically, I know that when you say branding and doing branding the way that you want can be very expensive. However, sometimes you just need some key things that you can't compromise on, and sometimes you can DIY, guys. You can do it yourself if you have the time, and if you're a very crafty person, you can leave handwritten notes and all of those things. But some things that I think are key and essential, and I will show you some of the things that I use for my branding, would be, I first of all use like a transparent nylon to package my stuff. I don't have any right here, but I will try and slip a picture to show you what it looks like when I'm done packaging my stuff. So after using a transparent nylon, if it's being picked up by my client, sometimes I use a really simple plastic bag, and I have this one here that says Robes by So Unique, and I have another one that just says So Unique, and I have it in two different sizes. So this is the regular size, and I've got a large size as well. But however, if I am sending it off, I could send it off using my mailer bags, and I've got these mailer bags right here, and I like them because you can put the waybill on the reverse side as well. So it's got that little compartment for the waybill. But of course, as you can see, this is like, it says like a really cheeky note. You've been expecting me, that's what it says. And then it says, thank you for shopping with us. You're officially our WCE, that's Women Crush Every Day. And then it has our details. So these are the mailer bags that I use for others that are like being sent out, so whether I sent out domestically or international. And I've got two sizes of this as well. I've also got paper bags, and I've got two sizes of this. So I've got this size as well as the large size, and basically I also use this for some orders. So now, how to know whether to use this or this will kind of depend on the range of the products. So for some products, I would definitely be using my paper bags, and for some products, I would definitely be using my plastic bags. Also, in terms of packaging, you just basically see, one thing is people come to you based on how you are perceived. Guys, can you guys hear the bird? People come to you based on how you're perceived, and the more you package yourself and present yourself, and you can do that without spending too much, but the more you package yourself, you know, the more people think, oh, okay, she's ironed. Yeah, she's an expensive brand, and you don't necessarily have to spend a lot. Obviously, you would have to spend money, but not necessarily a lot. So I've got this ribbons, they're like ribbon that I printed on, and I've got my logo printed on, and I use them as my labels for now till I actually get my woven label sorted. Another thing that I also use is I use this custom tag that has my brand on it, and my brand colors will be black and white, as you can tell. So guys, you also just want to make sure that you do all these little things, and they go a long way. So basically, when I have like some orders, some dresses, I just, you know, put the tag on the dresses. And I've also got this card. Basically, all this card says is thank you for shopping with us, Robes by So Unique, and I put it for my robes that are customized. And at the back, on the flip side, it's got like care instructions, so how to care for your robe, you know, don't iron on, you know, on the prints, blah blah blah, machine wash cold with mild detergent, no bleach, all those kind of things. It's got that, and that's absolutely important, which is why I, you know, have that in there, so that people don't make mistakes while, so, you know, taking care of their outfits and then mess it up. So I've got the care instruction cards that functions as a thank you card as well. And then for my regular orders, I've also got this card as well, which is kind of like a care instruction card, but this is just different. It just says made with love, So Unique by Adunni. Take a picture and tag us on social media, and then it says caring for your products. So I just put like a little small note there, and of course I've got my sticker lastly. So guys, when it comes to branding, I would say my advice will be, you want to make sure that you know your product, so you want to leave it aesthetically pleasing. I would usually just fold like my robes or my clothes and then put them in a transparent nylon and put one care instruction card and a tag on, put my label, and then put them in a nylon bag or plastic bag, rather a paper bag or a mailer bag, depending on where it's going. So yes, and it can be overwhelming if you want to try and do all those things at once. My advice to you will be, take them in bits. So this month you can decide, oh, this one I want to do my care instruction cards, and just do that this month. The next one you can decide you want to do your mailer bags, and if you have the money, please go right for it and do all of that. But yes, my advice will be, you want to make sure that you get the transparent plastic bags and you put your your outfits in there, and then you put them in like a paper bag. If you're ready to wear, I would definitely recommend a paper bag over a plastic bag. I would definitely recommend a paper bag like this over a plastic bag. And like I said, you want to do this in a size that is suitable for you. I've got a large one, and that works better, for most things. This would only work for like one item, and it depends on the item. If it's bulky, it's not going to work. So yes, I would definitely recommend that as a brand that is into ready to wear, you definitely want to do paper bags. And like I said, don't do everything at once. It can be stressful, it can be exhausting, except you have the funds for it. Do not do everything at once. So the next question I have is from Nadia Johnson. I want to start a ready-to-wear line, but the chart I have is a US chart, but we all know African women are curvier than the measurements on the chart. Please help me on how to adjust the measurements, how to price, and also how to maintain it. Okay guys, so for me, I have a chart that I made myself, and what I had done at the time was I had gone to look for like 2 or 3 size charts that I personally wear, like other brands I used to shop from in the UK. So I had gone to ASOS, I think at the time. I had gone to H&M, but for me, I find out that H&M runs small. And then I think I went to ASOS, and then I went to Debenhams or Zara, and then I went to some other store. At the moment, I can't remember, but I definitely went to ASOS and Zara. I think it was ASOS and Zara. So I went to those 2 stores, I got their size chart, and then I just kind of compared it based on my experience sewing, and I was like, okay, so fine, I'm a size 12, my hips are 42, right? How many other size 12s have I made clothes for, and what are their hip sizes? Great. So you compare that, and then you see what they have, and you find out that, okay, wow, Africans are a lot curvier. So if there's a need to add like an extra 1 inch to the hips, because we have more hips, or we have more bust, or we also have fuller waist, you definitely want to add that and make amendments. So obviously trying to get a size chart that works for you would definitely depend on you. And I also want to say there are 2 ways. First of all, you could decide to start your own size chart by yourself and just keep it original. Don't make your size chart off someone else's one, and just decide, this is our size chart. This is so unique by Adunni's size chart. I don't want to hear what you wear in UK. Obviously, I'm not saying that to your client, guys, but it's not a function of what you normally wear. It's a function of, this is what we're wearing. When you come to us, we don't use a size something, we use this, and this is what our size 6 is, this is what our size 8 is, and this is what our size 10 is. So that's when you're making a custom size chart. However, if you decide to build your size chart off other people's size charts, so for me, I built mine off other size charts, and I would tell you that my size chart is based on the UK size chart system. However, it's not the exact same. So basically, like I said earlier, I had just taken a couple of size charts that worked for me personally, and then I had worked around that, the measurements and the figures that I had there, and worked around my own personal measurements as well as my client's measurement, and compared and just made adjustments where I saw necessary to make adjustments. So I will put a picture of my size chart somewhere here, and a link to my size chart maybe in my in the description box, so you guys can have a look of what I'm saying. But like I said, I made changes where I felt necessary. Where I felt I needed to add an inch to the hips, I definitely did add an inch. Where I felt I needed to add like an inch to the waist, I made sure to do that. Where I saw that I needed to take away, I made sure to take away. So you basically want to build something peculiar to you. I can't say for sure that this is what you should do, but definitely I do understand, and I do agree with you that we are usually curvier, so there would be a need to make adjustments on many of the things that you have like right there. So yes, go ahead and take a sample, take about 5-10 people within your community and speak to them and find out what sizes they say they wear. So if I say I'm a size 10 and you have my measurement, and then you take another size 10 and you have the person's measurement, and the difference between their measurements is just plus or minus 0.5 an inch, and you compare it to the UK one that you have, just make amendments based on what is around you physically, right? And obviously you just keep building that until you get to a system or a size chart that works for you. It took me a bit to get mine permanently, and I remember that I kept on adjusting, amending. Or I'll see a client today that will say she's a size 6, and then I'll compare my size 6. It will look a bit off, and then I'll say, okay, let me add 1 inch here, let me take away 1 inch here. Okay, this looks fine, it seems to be working. I'll make something using my size chart and then give her size 6 to wear. How does it fit her? How does it fit, and then you find out from there. You make something using your size 10. Is it too tight for most size 10? Then you know that that's off. If you make something using your size 10, however, and it fits three or 4 different size 10 people, and then okay, I'm definitely doing something right. So I hope that answers your question. Okay guys, so moving on to the next question. Next question I have here is from AM Kali, and she says, do you buy your fabric in bulk? Okay guys, so for me, I make robes majorly. I also make African dresses. I make bespoke and robes, right? So I got my other page, So Unique by Adunni, and you should follow me if you're not following. I'll put the link in the description bio, yeah, and I also put the handles somewhere here on the screen or somewhere here. Anyway, so in So Unique by Adunni, what we do is we do bespoke, right? And I've also got a different page at Robes by So Unique, and I have to be honest, I do not buy bulk fabric. However, when it comes to my robes, because white robes and ivory robes are a staple, I do tend to buy a lot of ivory silk fabric, ivory satin fabric, white satin fabric, and white silk fabric. Maybe not like the whole roll, but I try to buy as much as possible because those are the colors that I use frequently. However, the danger with buying bulk for me is because I don't have the capital to buy a roll of every color. So some people come and they say they want a pink robe, some people come and say they want a green robe, some people come and say they want like a yellow robe. I've had the weirdest colors, guys, and they come out pretty. My customers have a good eye for colors, I have to be honest. But my point is, you have to find out what works for you. If you can afford to buy bulk and you know that you use it without tying your money down, go ahead and buy bulk. But if you feel like buying bulk will tie your money down, then don't do it. However, you want to make sure that you're not also losing money, because if you're far away from the market and it's not convenient for you to always go and buy, then you'll be in trouble. I go to the market about twice a week on scheduled days, and what I do is whatever I have to do that week and the following week, I try to buy whenever it is that I go to the market, so that my trips are like, if I'm not going for just one item, I'm going for many items. So like I said, I only buy bulk of certain colors, and those are the colors that I use often. I run through them real quick, and that's why I buy bulk. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you. So the next question that I have here is from Feyikemi Elemide. Hi Feyikemi, and she says, how do you place a price on made to fit outfits? Also, can you tell us more on customer management from your opinion? That question. Okay, so first of all, how do I place a price on made to fit outfits? And this one, I'm gonna have to get my note for that, because I did write down a couple of things that I don't want to miss out. When it comes to pricing, a lot of people find after a while that their business is not profitable, and at the end of the day they get stressed and frustrated. However, it is really simple, guys. Pricing is key. Pricing is key to making profit in business. You can't buy a product at 10 naira and sell it at 30 naira just because, without any calculation, right? And you have to understand that high prices don't necessarily mean good pricing, right? So there is a right price for a project, and there's a recommended price that you should charge. However, I'm going to talk about pricing in a little bit, so let's just get into pricing. When you want to get your price, you want to make sure that the price that you put on your products, the customer is getting value. You're giving value for a price. Don't sell crap and put an expensive price on it, guys. And I'm serious, this is a warning. if you're going to make crap, don't put an expensive crap price on it. Nobody wants to buy crap for whatever amount, whether it's cheap or expensive. So imagine if you were now selling at an expensive price and I'm willing to pay that price and I find out that you're selling me crap, you know, it's going to be annoying. Obviously, that's tarnishing your brand image. So first thing, you want to make sure that you're giving people value for their money. That's the first thing you want to do. Now, how to calculate your price? To calculate your price, you want to calculate the direct cost. The direct cost will be the cost of the raw materials, the cost of labor, and the cost of transportation. That will be your direct cost. So all those things that go into making that outfit. Now, you also want to calculate the indirect cost. So indirect cost will be the admin cost, you know, the cost, utility bills. Indirect cost will be the wear and tear on your machine. Indirect cost will be basically all those things. Rent, those are indirect costs. So for instance, you're making 10 dresses, so you cost your raw materials, you cost your direct cost now. So you get the direct cost, the raw materials, the labor, transportation to and fro the markets and everything, making the outfits, and your direct cost on the items for 10 pieces is 5,000 naira, right? Guys, know that 5,000 naira for 10 pieces. So by the time you do the math, 5,000 divided by 10, already the direct cost on one of those items would be 500 naira. Okay, so in that time you calculate the indirect cost as well for the same 10 pieces. So are you guys with me? So you have your 10 pieces and you have the direct cost as 5,000 naira already, and the indirect cost for those 10 pieces comes to about 2,000. So indirect cost, I'm talking about you had to turn on the gen, so you had to buy fuel, you had to, you know, obviously your rents, you kind of find a way to kind of like put your rent on it. You have like your branding nylon, so obviously you bought a pack of 100 or you did a pack of 100 paper bags, and the time you broke it down, one paper bag is coming to about 40 naira if you're using naira, or $1 if you're, you know, in America, or whatever it is that's coming to. And you find all the indirect costs, which is admin, cost of running your business, your rent, all of that, and the indirect cost comes to about 2,000 naira for the 10 outfits. So already we're at 7,000 naira for the 10 outfits. Okay, so already that means 700 for one outfit, guys. 7,000 divided by 10. I hope you're with me. Now, what you then need to do is you want to calculate your profit margin. So your profit margin can be 50%, it can be 100% of your cost price. Your wholesale price, which will be the price of your profit margin, 100% profit margin in this case, which is 700. Your indirect cost, which is 200, and your direct cost, which is 500. So 700 plus 200 plus 500 is 1,400, meaning that your wholesale price would be that. So again, remember that the wholesale price will be the profit margin plus the direct cost plus the indirect cost. By the time you have all of that, you have your wholesale price. So like I said, going by the example that I've been using, my wholesale price is 1,400 per outfit. That means if someone is coming to me and they're saying they want to buy wholesale, they want to buy 100 pieces, they want to buy 50 pieces, I'll give them at the price of 1,400 each. Now, my retail price, and that's when you see RRP, recommended retail price. My retail price would be my wholesale price times 2. That means I will retail that dress for at least 2,800 naira. I hope that makes sense. So I'm definitely want to sit down and use this approach as much as possible and just calculate your price. Like I said, I'll leave the formulas that I use, I'll leave them in the, just somewhere here, and you guys definitely want to take time out to write that down and apply it to your business. So Fakemi, I hope this answers your first question. As per your second question, how I deal with customers, I feel like that is a different video entirely, but one thing I'll say is you have to be patient and you have to also remember that customer is king. However, while I say customer is king, I will not let customers disrespect me, because I don't disrespect my customers, but you also need to be patient. Customers do things every day. Obviously, we're not always in the right as well, but customers do things every day, and sometimes you want to react, and normally they can't even do this to you, but sometimes you just need to smile and just smile. Really, just smile. All right, guys, next question. Okay, so the next question that I have is from Adiza, and Adiza wants to know how to get accurate trouser measurement charts for ready to wear. And she says, I'm doing a great job. Thank you so much, Adiza. I'm sending you lots of love at the moment. And basically, to answer your question, you basically just want to follow the same principle that I explained, based on, the other size chart question that someone had asked. And the thing about trousers is, because trousers can be a bit tricky and you want to get the right fit, I would say, for me personally, the pattern that I taught you guys is the pattern that has worked for me. And based on my experience, I have been able to make a size guide that works for me. So obviously the same principle applies to finding the waist and the hip. However, when it comes to crotch, because you can't measure the person, you want to go ahead and take a look at measurements, size charts from brands who make, trousers that you like the fit. So for me, I like the fit of Zara, and I think I like the fit, Zara basically. So I would, use Zara size chart when making mine, and just kind of like compare. And also, based on my experience making trousers for customer, I find that someone like me, if I'm making a high waist pants, my crotch is at a certain level, I definitely, would study anyone who has similar measurements to me, and if the same applies to them, then I know that this kind of works. So like I said, when you're doing ready to wear, you probably wouldn't get an exact fit. It's not bespoke, so don't pressure yourself to getting, excuse me guys, sorry about that, don't pressure yourself to getting a perfect fit. It's not bespoke. You probably wouldn't get a perfect fit, however it would fit nicely and fit right. So there's such a thing as perfect fit, made to fit, and then there's a fit as it looks nice. So yes, you should get good fit, but it may not be made to fit. It wouldn't be made to measure, because obviously you didn't measure the person. So definitely, like I said, take size charts that, for trousers, and then compare it to what you have. Also, if you have a couple of people around you, if you have like 4 size 10 people, measure them and see if their crotch depth aligns and all those things, and just compare. I hope that answers your question. I know it's a bit vague, but I feel like because I have spent some time talking about size chart already, it kind of applies as well. But all basically, in essence, what I'm saying is, you want to compare, you want to do your research, and you also want to spend some time, making comparison, like, okay, this is what this looks like, this is what this person's crop depth looks like or is, and this person is a size 10, however this person is a size 12, and theirs is this. What is right, what is wrong? Make something from your size chart and have people try on and see if it fits. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Adiza. And the next question, and the last question that I have here, is, how do you start, like, how did you get your customers? So this question is from Agbaje Miriam. Hi Miriam. So I have to say, I don't do ready to wear, but getting your customers, I feel, is the same thing. You basically want to determine what you want to do, like what you want to sell. After determining what you want to sell, you want to make samples, you want to have a photo shoot with models wearing the items. If it looks nice and it fits right, you definitely want to post pictures. You want to make use of hashtags, you want to make use of your search engine optimization, which is something that you guys need to research. You want to make sure that your post is seen, basically. You want to make sure that you reach out to as many people as you can, let them see what you can do, and that way people will keep ordering. If you have good content, if you have good pictures, and if you have nice catchy styles, people will order. However, you do need to know that it takes a while. It doesn't happen overnight. So it didn't happen overnight, guys. So you guys have to remember that there's no such thing as overnight success. Someone had to do the work, someone has been working, and you guys didn't see the work, but there is no such thing as overnight success. So like I said, you're ready to start a ready to wear brand. Decide the styles you want. Go ahead and produce a couple of those styles. Go ahead and take fantastic pictures. Do photo shoots, collaborate like I mentioned in my other video, and then put the pictures out there. Push your brand, push it, pray. If you believe in God, just make sure you push your brand as much as possible. Every opportunity you get, wear your brand, let people know about your brand, advertise, post the pictures. If people have seen it, post the picture again, because there's going to be someone who hasn't seen it. Make use of your hashtags, research the right hashtags to use. Make sure you post on Twitter, make use of all the platforms that you have, make use of the referrals that you have, make use of the word of mouth, make use of your friends, your inner circle usually would be your first customer. So your church as well. Church is a good way to get customers. Walk up to people, let them know that, hi, my name is Ayotola, and I make dresses. I have this shape dress available if you want. It's priced at 15,000 naira, and it takes 3 days from date of payment to receive your order, and create a working system, and I'm sure you'll get your customers. But like I said, you want to make sure that your customer experience is remarkable. You want to make sure that people come, like your items, people get value for their money. You want to make sure that the items are well made and people look nice. You want to make sure that it's creative and you have a unique product. So don't create products that everybody already has. You need to stand out. One of the ways to grow quickly is when you create a product that no one has seen. You need to attract your customers, let people come to you, price your products right, and you will be well on your way to having a successful business. So guys, those are all the questions that I received. I hope I was able to answer them, and I hope I did justice to your questions. I just want to see in case I wanted to touch anything that I haven't touched. So yes, I talked about pricing, and you guys need to take note of the principles that I mentioned in there. Customer management, I would make a dedicated video on that. Like I said, I answered the question on buying fabric bulk. Size chart, I also answered the question on that. Getting customers, I answered the question on that. Packaging and branding, I answered the question on that. How to start a clothing line, I kind of answered the question on that. And someone also asked lessons that I have learned, which I feel like is a whole video on its own. But again and again, I say to you that the most important lesson that I have learned is patience. I'm not the most patient person. I like things being done quick. And if you knew me before I started sewing and before I started my business, and you know me now, you know that I'm a lot more patient than I used to be. And I'm grateful for my business for teaching me that. I'm grateful because I know not to fight with customers. I know not to, throw a fuss. I know not to throw a tantrum. And I also know when to take stuff as constructive criticism. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was worth your while. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to follow me on social media, and don't forget to leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for being absolutely amazing. You guys are incredible. I appreciate your love. I appreciate your support. Veronica, Rita, every single one of you that left questions. Adiza, Miriam, thank you all so much. I remember like most of your names, and I see your comments, guys. Thank you guys so much. I love you. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Okay guys, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye.